Hello, family. Welcome to the War on Wellness. I am your host, Penny McPherson, and today we're going to talk about fasting made simple. Fasting made simple, specifically, we're going to talk about different types of fasting and how they can help you meet your goals. And we are excited to have you here. I'm going to make sure I welcome all of my plant based Penny family members into the room. But first, this message from our sponsor, Plant Based Penny. Well, let's show this. Hello and welcome back to the War on Wellness. I am Penny, your host for the War on Wellness, and I'm here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I want to welcome those who are watching over on Instagram. My Instagram family is always here. I appreciate you very much. And I want to welcome also the people who are watching on my Facebook pages. Facebook pages, welcome. It's on Facebook. And let's see, I'm group page in the room because it is most important to me that I get everybody into the room because this is very important information and it's a really popular topic right now that a lot of people are wanting to know exactly what can I do, how can I help myself, because I want to get better. People are not content with being where they are. It is the end of the year. A lot of people are making sure that 2025, can you believe it? Oh my goodness. I mean, it is almost 2025, right? And I mean, literally, it was just the other day when we were celebrating New Year's. And so it makes people reflective, and we're thinking. And actually, I'm still trying to get my group into the room. It makes people reflective. It makes people think about the fact of, is it going to, am I going to be better than I was last year? Am I going to be the same that I was last year? All of those are very important. We're reflective. Is anybody reflective? Put reflective in the chat if you're thinking about that. And so we're talking about fasting made simple. And we're going to talk about specifically the types of fasting. So I want to say hello to my Facebook family. I see some of you are joining me, so I am very happy to see you in the room. So say hello and let me know where you're watching from. If you're in a different state or a different area, let me know that as well. And so I think I have my Facebook family in the room. I think. we'll continue to try. So I will I will make sure I get them in the room. I do have a question for you, and that is, have you tried fasting? And was your experience good, bad, or ugly? So that because on this wellness journey, we're everything's not going to be daisies and roses and butterflies and everything's just all together lovely. Sometimes we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Plant Based Penny is dedicated to letting you know all sides of the coin so that you can make the best and wisest choices as you go through this process. So, has it been good, bad, or ugly? And I want to say hello to Teresa and hello to Sharon, who are both watching. Hello to Victoria. Hello to Tony. Hello to Yanetsi as well. Hello to all of you who are watching. And we're going to get to it. So I do want to just kind of share with you that I have experience in fasting, and a lot of us may have. If you have experience in fasting, remember I wanted you put good, bad, or ugly in the comments as to which one it was for you, and let me know. And also let me know where you're watching from. Oh yes, okay. Hello to all of those who are watching on YouTube as well. Yay! If you're not already a follower of my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Plant Based Penny. Very, very easy. My Instagram is Plant Based Penny Life. My Facebook is Plant Based Penny Life. We try to make it really, really simple for you. Okay, very good. The Facebook group is in the room. And so I wanted to start with a reflection because part of my entire makeup is Christianity. And so one of the biblical reflections that I had on fasting was or is found in Matthew 6:16-18. And that's where the hypocrites want everybody to know that they were fasting. And so they would disfigure their faces and they'd go around looking all drab and somber because they wanted everybody to know that they were on this particular spiritual journey. And the Bible says in Matthew 6, and I'll paraphrase it for you, to basically don't be like those people. It is between you and God, and your Father says to fix your hair, to wash your face, to make sure that you're not looking obvious to other people so that they can give you credit for your spiritual journey that you're on. But make sure it's between you and your Father, this journey that you're on, and your Father sees and knows everything. And since he sees and knows everything as your creator, he will reward you. And that really, it made me think about, well, one, fasting is not just the physical benefits, but it's also the spiritual benefits as well. So it's the spiritual benefits, it's the physical benefits, but we also connect on a deeper level with yourself and with the creator. And I like also the principles of the attitude of gratitude. So not going around like the hypocrites. Oh my goodness, I'm doing this. I'm on this journey and it's just so hard, but I'm doing it. No, the attitude of gratitude. So God likes a cheerful giver. So in us giving up something, we're giving our whole being, we need to be cheerful and have an attitude of gratitude in that and be cheerful about the change. Be cheerful about the changes that were going on. So it just made me think of that. And I thought I would share that as part of the broadcast on tonight. So let me know if you have fasted before, if your fast is a if it has been good, bad, or ugly. Or if you've not fasted before, just put not yet in the chat, and that will work as well. So let's get to it. So the introduction to fasting. So last week, we talked about the amazing benefits of fasting, and some of those were improved digestion, mental clarity, and it also helps regulate our blood sugar levels. And that's very important because, diabetes is a challenge for a lot of people that we know, or even for some of you that are watching now. So there's not any one size fits all approach. It's about finding what works really best for you and your body and for your lifestyle. So put in the comments, if you hear the word fasting, what is the first thought that comes to mind? When you hear the word fasting, what is the first thought that comes to mind for you? Is it something that's spiritual, maybe something that's physical, or something else completely? I would say for me, the first thought that comes to mind is going to be that I'm going to reduce belly bloat. And that's something that always happens for me. So that's like a really good side effect. Reducing the belly bloat. So I guess reducing bloat. So that is one thing that I really appreciate as well. So we're thank you everybody that's watching on my Facebook. Is here, wonderful, and my Instagram. Any questions that you have, I'll be sure to answer them at the end. So the first type of fasting that we're going to talk about is intermittent fasting, and I mentioned them for a brief moment last week. Go back to my YouTube channel, Plant Based Penny, and you can find last week's Fasting 101, and you can watch that. Well, I want you to dive a little bit into the types of fasting, a little bit more deeper into the types of fasting. And so, one of the most popular and accessible ones is intermittent fasting. It's intermittent fasting, and that's because you're fasting for a 16-hour window, and you're eating during an 8-hour window. And so it's really it's simple because you get to choose what your preference is. And so if you're fasting, if you're eating, your 8-hour window might be you're eating between 11 and 7 or 12 to 8, whatever that looks like for you. I want to say hello to Shelly, who's watching. Hello to Ronnie, who's watching. Hello to Tanya, who's watching as well. Thank you all for watching today. So the intermittent fasting, it's not about skipping meals, but it's about timing them differently. Okay. So it's a 16-hour, you fast for 16 hours, you're eating during an 8-hour window, and your first meal of the day, we'll say, will be at 11 o'clock. And then you would have eaten your last meal of the day by 7 p.m. Or you can pick from 12 to 8. And you don't want to eat too close to your bedtime, especially you don't want to eat heavy close to your bedtime. So you want to be finished all your eating by 3 hours or so before you go to bed. And that's going to help you rest well and not have those really bad dreams and actually get good solid sleep. So why is this important? The intermittent fasting, that's because studies show that intermittent fasting can reduce inflammation, promote weight loss, and improve brain function. So all of that is going to be helpful. And I know for me in particular, I have experienced that because I have I would say my inflammation is decreased. Well, for two things. One, when I do intermittent fasting, which is pretty much my daily life, how I operate. So I fast I will eat probably between 11:30 and 12, and I'm finished before 8 o'clock at night. And that is the aim and the goal. So as far as inflammation, there are no medical tests that I've done to show that I don't have inflammation, but I do know that at one point I had pain in my joints, and that would be my knees and my hips. And so two things helped me there, and that would be exercise and fasting, my intermittent lifestyle, the way that I eat. And it may be a little bit of a challenge for some people at some point. Uh, they may need to modify it for their own best outcomes, but I can say that it does work. So at 61 years old, I don't have any joint pains. I would say majority of the year. I mean, I might have some joint pain sometimes, but I can't remember any right now. So I have to confess that when I was more sedentary, I did experience more joint pain. So when I was eating off of my plan, I was experiencing more joint pain then. So it does happen. I am not perfect based Penny. I am plant based Penny. So I even have improvements I need to make, and I make mistakes, and those mistakes remind me, get back on track, Penny, because you're off track. So intermittent fasting does help in that regard. Reduce inflammation, weight, and clarity. I have enough clarity at this stage of life that I can help people move from problems to progress with plant-based and natural solutions. That's what plant-based Penny is all about. So did you know that in Japan they live for a very long time, and they're very, very active. And when I was in Singapore, I remember our wasn't our waitress. It was the person who was like bussing the tables was an extremely old lady. She may have been related to the owners. I don't know, but she didn't speak any English, so we couldn't have conversation with her. But she was really up in age, and I would say she was in her 80s, and she was moving about. And but in Japan, fasting is part of their culture. It has been part of their culture for centuries, and it's known as the shoku yoku, and that means appetite control. And actually, fasting is actually control as far as just discipline control whatsoever. Because Ellen G. White says if you can control your appetite, you can control any other area of your life. If you can get your tongue not to dictate to your brain what it's going to do, and you can have your brain control your tongue, then you have experienced discipline, and you can use that in any area of your life. So it's seen as a way to maintain balance and harmony in the body. So I have a question for you, and that is, if you were to try intermittent fasting, what would your hour windows be? Are you an 11 to 7, a 12 to 8, a 10 to 6, or what would your intermittent hours be for you? So remember, the the point is that you have 16 hours of fasting, and so you want to make sure that your sleeping time and your not eating time is 16, and that you eat within the 8-hour window. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But put in the comments, I'm curious to know what your 8-hour window time frame might be. We're all on this journey, and all of us are not at the same place on our journey, but we're all on the journey. So the second type of fasting is water fasting. Water fasting, and that is the only thing that I have in my wellness mug today is going to be water, because water is what I drink mostly, unless I'm drinking teas. Sometimes I'll drink something else. New Year's, I will probably drink something else, but and they're all non alcoholic, by the way. But water fasting, water For those of you who don't like water, you can boost your water intake by adding some fruits or mint to your water. That will help you drink more water. Water is going to be vital. It's going to be so important for your skin, for your hair, for your nails, for your health overall. So, water fasting helps reset your metabolism. It also helps improve insulin sensitivity. Again with the diabetes, water. The water is so important. The Bible says that the simple things confound the wise. And sometimes it's the simple things, the simple remedies that God gives us that we think that we're too great for, or we think, well, it's got to be something more than that. It's got to be a shot or pill or a doctor bill or something like that. It's got to be something great and fabulous. But water will solve a multitude of ills. It will. So the water is a powerful tool to help recalibrate our bodies. So how long, if you if you've ever done a water fast, I would really be curious to know about that. I think that'll be the next one that I'm going to try. And the water fasting is, as I mentioned, it recalibrates. I had a friend who actually did it for 75 days and she was under supervision when she did that. And also the Guinness Book of World Records, there was a Scottish guy. His name was Angus Barbie, I believe. Bar Barbierii. However, his last name is pronounced Barbary. I'm not sure. Anyway, he was a Scottish gentleman who made the Guinness Book of World Records, and he went 320 or 380 something days, a little over a year. And but it wasn't just water for him; it was water, it was tea. He was taking vitamins. He was under supervision. He was drinking soda water, and so that is very dangerous. Plant-based Penny is not advocating anybody go a whole year and just drink water. Actually, I don't think any of you would like volunteer to do that anyway. But remember, water fasting. If you're going to do extreme water fasting, anything like that, you're doing it for more than 2 or 3 days. You want to make sure it's done with proper guidance and seek out proper guidance and your medical professional before you start anything like that. So, water fasting is very helpful. Actually, fasting, period, is helpful because it helps you reset your immune system. And you can reset your immune system in 72 hours. So, the wintertime, especially, we want to get more water into our systems and help bolster our immune systems. Because in the wintertime, we're going to be attacked by even more viruses. So, what do you think? Got another question for you. This is a participatory class. We're participating here. What do you think is the longest period of time that you can go on just water? Do you think it's hours? And if so, pick how many hours. Do you think if it's days? Do you think if it's weeks? What do you think is the longest amount of time that you can go without water? Okay. Who is this? Let's see. Wa PL says, Hello, Miss Penny. It's been a minute. She's on Instagram. How are you, dear? Now, Instagram makes this very little tiny circle for me to see the pictures, and I can't see the picture very well, but I can see Wa, WAUGHPL. And hello to Diana, who's watching on Instagram, and Grace Mercy 6. Thank you all for watching on Instagram. And the question is, can diabetics participate? Well, that would be, it would depend. So I was pre-diabetic and I fasted, but so it depends on how far off the scale you are. and it depends on the severity of it. So I would check with your medical professional, because there are people who are pre-diabetic, people who are diabetic, people who are type 1, who are type 2, and some people who are to the point they're almost at the level they need to be hospitalized. So that's a good one-off question that you can. I also provide free consultations, so free one-on-one consultations, and you can access that through my website, which is plantbasedpennylife.com. Very easy, very simple, easy to follow. Plantbasedpennylife.com. So let's see. We're talking about fasting. Okay, so the third form of fasting is one of my favorite, and that is juice fasting. So, juice fasting is popular amongst beginners, and it's popular because it's gentler, and it's also popular because it is a nutrient dense option. So, since we're not activating our digestive system, it helps our body absorb the nutrients even faster. So instead of us eating I don't know, let's see, eating the leafy greens and masticating them, because your digestion actually starts in your mouth with you chewing the food. You should not be passing any food and looking back there and seeing whole food. Okay, all of your food should be masticated first in your mouth before you swallow it. Okay, and this is something that I actually had to learn, because it's a learned behavior, the way that we eat food. We've been doing it for however many years that we've been alive, since we started eating solid food. And so if you're 40 or over, you've been doing it for uh, 40, 39, 39 and a half or more years. So for me, I've been doing it, 60 some odd years. I've been eating, well, not 60, because I actually started this journey 15 or 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So about 50 years or so, I've been, just kind of chew and swallow, chew, swallow. And, swallowing whole pieces of food and things like that. And so it's a journey, it's a process, it's learning. So instead of chewing the food, we're getting the nutrients directly from the food and putting it directly into our systems. So a juice fast is, well, first of all, let me say this before I forget. When I say juice, I am not talking about See, I got all excited about the fact about what I was getting ready to tell y'all. And I almost got choked up. So when I say juice, I am not talking about the juices that come in the can in the store, the juices that come in the little package where sugar is the first ingredient. I am not talking about the juices that come in the bottles that sugar or high fructose corn syrup or any of the sugar substitutes. When it says sugar free, okay, I'm not even going to get on my high horse or my soapbox today. But if it says sugar free, and most of the time when it says sugar free, it means they put a chemical in there, and that chemical is going to have you running back to have even more. Or if it says diet, that's another giveaway as well. So instead of water, you're consuming liquids, and that's the liquids of juiced vegetables, of juiced fruits, and that's going to be packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants for our bodies. So that's going to help keep us healthy. So the juice fasting, that's going to flood our body with the nutrients and give our digestive system a much needed break. And I don't know about you, but let me say this into the mic. Make sure everybody hears this. We've been doing a lot of eating here over the last holiday and weekends or so, and with the leftovers, and our digestive system needs a break. Okay, our digestive system needs a break. I know I needed it, and so I know I am not alone. Somebody put in the comments, need a break. So the juice fast is a great way to restart and recharge ourselves without feeling overly restricted. And so, so for those of you who don't know, I after leading corporate America for 34 years, I was led to move abroad, and I lived in Central and South America for 2 years. And during that time, I had the pleasure of drinking and eating the most fantastic fresh fruits and vegetables. And in countries like Brazil, which wasn't one of the countries I lived in Panama, Colombia, and Costa Rica. But juice fasting is very popular in a lot of other countries, and Brazil is one of those. And so they fast or feast on fruits like papayas and guava, and it's used to celebrate their digestive and anti-inflammatory properties. So those are good fruits to include, especially if you're in areas where those are in season. Those are very important. So, question for you again: have you tried juice fasting? Have you tried juice fasting? And if you have, what is one of the fruits that you would put in your juice? I already know. My fruit, well, okay. I was going to say mango because I really love mango, but watermelon as well. I love watermelon. Absolutely love watermelon. And so that would definitely be amongst the ones that I would be trying. So let me know what your favorite fruit will probably be if you were to have the fruit in the in your juices. Yeah, and how long do you think that you could go on a fruit juice and vegetable juice fast? How long do you think you could go on that for? I know that I've done that for 10 days before introducing solid foods and starting with the broth. And there's a whole another segment that I can do on how to actually break a fast. So which fruit would you include? And which method is right for you? Either the ones I've talked about, intermittent fasting, or you're eating between an 8-hour window, water fasting, or you're drinking just water for 48, 72 hours, or the juice fast. So we've covered these types. I'd love to hear from you which one sounds better. So fasting is really, it's a personal journey. As I mentioned, when we're talking about Matthew chapter 6, 16 through 18, and it says in that Bible text that your Father sees everything. So there are some people who were doing these little TikToks, and they were part of these fasting groups and detox groups, and they were making fun of the fact that everybody's in this fasting group. I'm in the fasting group, but I'm eating. I'm I'm, I'm eating. They just don't know about it because I'm on the Zoom with my camera off. Well, they may not know it, but your Father, your Creator, He knows everything. So it's all about being honest. Start small. Listen to your body, and remember, minor adjustments can have great health transformations. And I am starting a 5-day fasting challenge, 5-day free fasting reset. Make sure you put fasting in the DM, send me a direct message saying fasting, and I can contact you directly from there and send you the information so you can get that Zoom link. And that's going to be January 6th through the 10th. January 6th through 10th, 2025. I have a 5-day free fasting challenge. And I also, coming up in February, got some great things going on the plant-based penny life. Starting in February, I have my spa event coming up. You do not want to miss the Pampering with a Purpose. It's going to be in Richmond, Virginia. Pampering with a Purpose is going to be a day of relaxation, rejuvenation. Not only do you get to choose from different spa experiences, like the halotherapy in the salt cave, the infrared sauna, the float therapy in the float tanks. Not only do you get to choose from the spa experiences, also we'll have mini workshops where we'll be talking about your wellness and how you can move from problems to progress with plant-based and natural solutions. You get a wonderful, goody, luxurious goodie bag. It's going to be very chic, nothing like you've gotten before, and it's just going to be an opportunity. It's going to be a boutique spa event. So I am only taking a dozen or so women, not going over that. It's going to be a small group. And so it is live now. You can on Instagram, the link is on in my bio. I've posted it on my Facebook page, my personal page, my Facebook business page, and my Facebook group. I post it again after this broadcast, but it is there and ready for you to click on and register. Right now we're doing the early bird special, and it's $97. It's going to go up to $127 in January. So make sure that you get it. Prices go up in 2025. So today we talked about fasting, making it simple for you, because it has to be simple in order for the changes to be sustainable. You can contact me at life at plantbasedpennylife.com through email, or you can contact me through my website. Either way, I'm happy to help you look, live, and feel well. So thank you for joining me on this Wednesday's War on Wellness. And I'll be back next Wednesday. Make sure you're following. Make sure you have the notifications set up. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you don't want to miss all that is coming forward for Plant-Based Penny and you, to help you look, live, and feel well. So thank you for joining, and we'll talk with you later. Bye.